Hey guys, what's up? Killspree Gaming here, and today I'm going to be talking about the fights I'm looking forward to in 2011 in the UFC. There's tons of promotions for mixed martial arts, but the UFC is the one I'm going to be talking about today. I may do a Strikeforce one later on, I may do a Dream later on, who knows? But for now I'm going to be talking about UFC. Another thing I'd like to note is these aren't necessarily the fighters I'm going to be watching in 2011. These are just the fights I'm looking forward to, because there's tons of fighters out there that I want to name out, but I can't exactly do this in one video, and I don't really have the time. So we're just going to be talking about the fights for now. First off, we got BJ Penn versus John Fitch. This is happening at UFC 127 on February 11th. Now, BJ Penn is coming off a victory on Matt Hughes, one of the top contenders for the welterweight division. Prior to that, he had a two-fight losing streak, and tons of people were saying, BJ Penn's just lost it. He doesn't really have it anymore. Now that he's fighting at 170, I think it looks a lot better, and I think if he comes into this fight as aggressive as he did against Matt Hughes, he may come out with a first-round knockout. Who knows? My personal pick is going to be John Fitch to win this fight. Fitch just came off of beating Ben Saunders at UFC 111 and Thiago Alves at UFC 117. He's currently on a 5-fight winning streak and currently ranked higher than BJ Penn in the welterweight division. I've seen tons of different websites that have been ranking BJ Penn higher than Fitch, but come on guys, let's be realistic. BJ Penn just won at 170, one fight. Fitch has been winning 5 fights at 170. So really, who's doing better in the division? I think John Fitch is. I think he's going to be winning second round knockout, or it'll be going to decision, but it'll be in favor of John Fitch. Next, we're going to be talking about Mirko Cro Cop versus Brendan Schaub. It's happening at UFC 128, March 19th. Mirko's coming off a loss to Frank Mir. That fight was boring as fuck, but he still lost. Brendan Schaub only has one loss to Roy Big Country Nelson. Other than that, he is coming off a win on Gabriel Gonzaga, and he is on a 3-fight winning streak. So my personal pick, I think the more realistic choice to go with is Brendan Schaub winning this fight. But I think I would like to see, being an MMA fan, I'd like to see Mirko Cro Cop come back and win this fight. However, I just don't think it's that realistic. I think if he sets up more combos and doesn't exactly look for the highlight reel knockout right away and kind of sets them up a little bit, I think it's possible that he could win. But Brendan Schaub is not, he's not the easiest guy to beat. He has very good stand-up. So I think it's going to be Brendan Schaub, second round TKO, or decision for Brendan Schaub. Although I'd like to see Mirko Cro Cop come back and win this fight. Next, we're going to be talking about Shogun Rua versus Rashad Evans, and it's for the light heavyweight championship, UFC 128, March 19th. Shogun's coming off a win on Lyoto Machida for the light heavyweight championship, so this will be his first defense as champion. Rashad Evans is coming off a win on Thiago Silva and Rampage Jackson. So right now, Rashad has basically the credentials to come in and win this thing and win his championship back. Then again, Shogun Rua just recently won the championship, so we're not exactly sure what he's capable of. I personally say that Shogun's going to win. I'm not exactly sure how he's going to win, but if he comes in as aggressive as he was against Lyoto Machida, we could see another first round. We could see one more TKO within the first round. Next fight we're going to be talking about is Nate Marquardt versus not Yushin Okami. That happened last time. Yoshihiro Akiyama. I always get the names mixed up. UFC 128 is when it's happening. Same day as same pay-per-view as Shogun Rua versus Rashad Evans. Nate's coming off a loss to Yushin Okami, and I personally thought that Nate lost that match. Fight, I guess as you guys would call it, or anyone would call it really. Akiyama's coming off a loss to Michael Bisping and Chris Lieben, so both are coming off losses. I personally think Nate Marquardt is a more complete fighter. He's more well-rounded. But you never can count out Akiyama. You gotta give at least some faith to Sexy Ama. He's so sexy. You have to wear 2 pairs of panties around him because the first pair is just gonna burn off. So I personally give this fight to Nate Marquardt, but again, you can never really count out Akiyama. I think it's going to be decision. Next, we're going to be talking about Brock Lesnar versus Junior Dos Santos at UFC 131, June 11th. Now, Brock's coming off a loss to Kane. What I'd like to say about that is he's still very inexperienced. He only has about like 5 fights, and what we've recently found out is he has a weak-ass chin. Now, that's not good for him because Dos Santos is a heavy-handed guy, much like Brock Lesnar, except he is, in my opinion, a more complete striker and a more complete fighter. Dos Santos is coming off a win against Gabriel Gonzaga, Stefan Struve, Mirko Krokop, Fabricio Werdum, I never pronounce his name, and Roy Big Country Nelson. A notable thing about this fight is this is going to be like, I guess, the coaches facing off, because these two guys are the coaches for The Ultimate Fighter 13. So, very interesting to see these two guys. I'm not exactly sure what Brock can bring to the table to teach the fighters more. I mean, he can really teach a lot of the working out and a lot of the actual training aspect of mixed martial arts, but he isn't really that complete or that experienced of a fighter. However, Dos Santos, he's working on his English. I think that's going to be one of the barriers between the competitors and the coaches, is the communication aspect. But, Dos Santos, he's bringing in some good guys from what I can see. He's actually bringing in Roy Big Country Nelson for his, outstanding jiu-jitsu. So, should be interesting to see The Ultimate Fighter 13. As far as the fight goes, I see Dos Santos taking this one if he can hit Brock's chin. If not, Brock will just take him to the ground and sit on him like the fat shit he is. I'm just kidding. I'm a Brock Lesnar fan too. I like all fighters, really. So these are the fights I'm looking forward to in 2011. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys will like my next video too. The fighters I'm looking to follow in 2011. Peace.